Hello friends, welcome back to the vlog. Happy Sunday. It is Sunday morning. I'm on my way to church. I have been doing so much running around lately. Since the last time I saw you. I was coming back from California. Since then, I have gone out of town 2 more times. So in the past 6 weeks, I've gone out of town 3 times, out of state 3 times in the past 6 weeks. And the last 2 trips that I went on were for work. So there wasn't much leisure activity happening. It was pretty focused. There was like a good amount of chill time, but it wasn't leisure. So I just am feeling drained in a lot of different ways. I have hit the point of burnout. And the thing about burnout is that it's always poorly timed. In addition to all this travel, my full-time job has been really busy and it's continuing to be busy. And because I've been traveling so much, I've had to move around my therapy clients last week because I was gone all last week. I didn't see any of them. And so this week I have all of them. So this week I'm adding an additional day of seeing clients. So I'm seeing them 3 days this week instead of just 2, in addition to my full-time job, which it's picking up. And this is a busy week for that as well. And so this is poorly timed burnout because I'm very tired and pretty drained and I'm off of my routines. I'm feeling disoriented. That happens with travel anyway, but just because of how drained I'm feeling, like all of that is kind of happening at the same time. And so this vlog is going to be about trying to lock back in, but also like managing functional burnout and active burnout. It would be great if I could just like take the next week off and kind of rest and recover, but that's not really an option. One of the things that I am trying to do to recover from this burnout is looking for some opportunities for some PTO. And so I think on Friday I might take that day off to give myself a long weekend. It's already a long weekend because next Monday is Memorial Day. And so I think I might extend it and just take Friday off as well, so that I can have like an extra long weekend. But besides that, I can't stop and just rest and reset like I would really want to. I was in New York last week. So as I was on my way back, I just was thinking about, kind of all the things that need to be done. And one of the things that we run into with burnout is this idea of just trying to like muscle through it. God has been helping me as of like yesterday and today with like shifting my mindset, I think, to help me get through this next week, really. Like it's this week that we're starting that I think is going to be a challenging one for me because of where I am mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Because of where I am in all of those places, I'm feeling pretty depleted. And this is a very busy week and I'm not going to have an opportunity to really just like rest like I want to until the end of the week. So I'm anticipating that it's going to be a challenging one for me. And so one of the things that I'm trying to be intentional about is shifting my perspective from a critical one to a compassionate one as I'm getting through this week. I have been thinking about pacing lately and timing, and actually, one of my recent podcast episodes was about timing and letting God set the pace. And in that episode, I was talking about how, yes, we need him to set the pace for the big things that happen in our life, but even on the day-to-day. And so one of the things that I'm going to be intentional about doing this week is giving myself the permission to slow down and move slowly throughout my day. The sense of urgency that I feel after I come back from a trip, or when I'm trying to get steady in my routines again, or when I'm feeling really emotional and when I'm feeling distant, I have this like sense of urgency, and that comes with a lot of critique, and that just makes it harder for me to move through this space. Like when I am feeling burnt out like I am now, I am physically tired, I'm mentally tired, I'm very emotional. And when I'm very emotional, I start to feel sad, and I start to feel really single, and I start to feel frustrated, and I start to feel like disappointed in myself. And so all of that kind of starts to come up for me. And I know all of that comes up for me. And so I'm trying to be mindful about the pieces that contribute to that feeling already. And something that does contribute is this approach that I have of trying to do so many things quickly back to back. So yesterday when I got home from New York, which mind you, my travel day was ridiculous because I had, first of all, I already had a 2-hour layover, and then my flight got delayed 3 hours on top of that. So I was stuck in Chicago for 5 hours yesterday. I got home like 3 hours later than I was supposed to. And so I was just so much more tired. But originally I was like, okay, when I get home, I'm going to take a nap, and then I'm going to get up and I'm going to go grocery shopping, and then I'm going to detangle my hair so I can wash it the next day. Or am I going to wash it, or am I not going to wash it because I need to record an episode still? And on day one wash and go, I don't really like that. So what am I going to do for my hair for the episode? I'm all of this. And I have to do it on Sunday because on Sunday I have to record it and I have to edit it because on Monday and Tuesday I'm going to be seeing clients until late at night. I'm not going to have enough time. I'm going to be too tired. So I have to do it on Sunday so then it can come out on Wednesday still on time. And like all of this before I even landed. And I'm doing all of this not really being considerate of how I'm actually feeling and the amount of like strength I have in this moment. And it's not much. And so God just reminded me about letting him set the pace, and that he does not rush. He does not move with a sense of urgency. And so I don't need to either. And it's also just that reminder that I'm always okay and that he is always going to help me. So I don't need to have that mindset and have that urgency and that rushing. It's not helpful for me. It's not healthy for me. It adds on to how I'm already feeling when I'm already feeling depleted and overwhelmed and shame. It just adds on to that. It makes it so much harder. And so I didn't do all of those things. I did do some of those things. And I took my time this morning. I had a slow morning. And honestly, when I went to bed last night, I gave myself permission to have as slow of a morning as I needed. Thankfully, my body was still on East Coast time, so I was up early. I had enough time to wash my hair, to put in an order and pick up my groceries already this morning, to make breakfast. Like I had plenty of time, and I'm still about to be on time for Bible class, like for Bible studies. See? But this is a good reminder to me that I don't have to rush or move with urgency to be productive and to be effective. And so that is a good like centering thought, a good grounding thought for me as I'm headed into this week, anticipating the busyness of it all. These last few weeks, in addition to travel, it's just been really chaotic. So my eating has been off. I have not been able to exercise. And that's frustrating a little bit for me because I have been doing really well with that. I've been on my weight loss tip. Like I've been dropping some weight. So I have not done any of that in the last like 3 or 4 weeks. So this week, ideally, I would like to be able to be very thoughtful about returning to my routines, getting some things back in place. But because I know how busy it's going to be, I can only be so thoughtful about doing all of that. So I'm really trying to approach this with a lot of grace for myself and a lot of compassion for myself, slowing down where I can. And slowing down doesn't mean stop and don't do these things, but like be okay with doing them slowly. I think I'm trying to preserve energy where I can this week. So this afternoon I'm going to twist my hair. I have to pick Nova up after church today. Still have to unpack. So like, we're still just getting back into town, but I only have so much time to get ready for this week. I'm grateful that I'm not just getting back into town today because then I would have had even less time to prepare for the week ahead. So we are trying to be mindful this week. We are trying to move forward. We're trying to lock in, quasi lock in with our given capacity. Okay. But I am grateful that I'm still making it to church, making it on time. I'm about to pull up right now. So I'm going to, praise the Lord, spend some time with my family. My aunt is in town. She's leaving tomorrow though, so I'm glad I'm going to be able to see her. So I think she's going to be at church today. So that's nice. And then I get to see my nieces. I haven't seen them in over a week, and I was trying to see them before I left, but they was busy. They was at a WNBA game. I said, oh, excuse me. So looking forward to seeing them. And then we'll see how the rest of the day goes.
You found me in the dust with my shoes untied. Pull me close again, like a river to the tide. I was out on my own, running on empty gas. You said, come back home, and I felt that in my chest. Now I breathe when your name is near. You lift the weight and you clear the fear. Now I lean on mercy that stays. You turn my night into light of day. Sunday right, you keep me steady inside. Sunday right, with you my soul stays alive. Hold me close, lead the way. I'm safe in your grace today. Sunday right, you keep me steady inside. When my thoughts get loud and the ground feels thin, you calm every storm right where the cracks begin. You don't let me go when I drift too far. You write peace on my heart like a name on a jar. Now I breathe when your name is near. You lift the weight and you clear the fear. Now I lean on mercy that stays. You turn my night into light of day. Sunday right, you keep me steady inside. Sunday right, with you my soul stays alive. Hold me close, lead the way. I'm safe in your grace today. Sunday right, you keep me steady inside. I was lost in the noise, but you call me by name. Now my hands are open, and I'm never.
Hello again, friends. It is much later in the evening. It's 8 o'clock, and we are getting ready to do some skincare while we catch up a bit more. So after church today, I went to lunch with my family. My aunt was in town, and so we all went to lunch together after church, and it was really nice. And then I picked up Nova on the way home. So I didn't get home until around 3 o'clock. And I had just gotten some groceries this morning. And thankfully I just had lunch. And like I have just been eating out a lot lately. and eating really heavy and eating heavily processed food. And I think I forgot to mention, but over the last couple of weeks when I was sick, when I realized that or found out that I had pneumonia, I also found out that I have acid reflux. So that's like something else that I'm learning to manage. But all of the food and all of the eating out and everything, it's just been a bit of a mess and a learning curve for sure. There we go. And so because of that, it was really my top priority to make sure that I cooked today, that I like did a little bit of meal prep, and just that I had some healthy food, some home cooked food in the house. I'm telling y'all, like, this is when I really feel the like body, mind, spirit connection the most, because my body, like when my body is as I was saying, when my body is not taken care of, when my GI issues are flaring up, when I'm dehydrated, when I haven't had enough sleep, I'm fatigued. Everything else it's a snowball effect. Like when my body feels that way and I feel so sluggish and unmotivated, and that's when a lot of my kind of like negative thought processes start to follow. When I'm feeling that way, I start making excuses for why I'm not doing certain things, when it's really that I don't have the energy to do it physically. And I don't have the energy to do it physically because I'm not taking care of my body and all of that. So like, and then that just bleeds into my mental and into my emotional, because when I'm not feeling motivated and when I'm making excuses, then I'm also feeling a lot of shame and regret, and like, it's just a bad thing. And when I'm feeling that way, then that takes up a lot of mental space, and I feel like I am not present enough, or that I don't have enough like mental clarity to really talk to God or spend time with him. So like, it really is a snowball effect, and I know that. And so I have to take care of my body. This 36-year-old body is not getting any younger, and it just needs more attention now in ways that it didn't before. And so I am learning more about what foods affect me differently with the acid reflux. And that's just the whole thing. But going into this week, especially knowing what kind of week this is about to be, we needed some food. And also financially, I'm not about to keep eating out. I'm not about to do it. That's the good thing. Those two things go hand in hand. Eating healthy and saving money, yeah, they go hand in hand. Even though healthy food usually is like more expensive, but still, it's cheaper than eating out every day. I promise. So I cooked some food today. After I got home, I did take a little nap. Me and Nova took a little nap, but I was multitasking. I took a nap while my spaghetti squash was in the oven. And then I got up and did some more cooking. So I was in the kitchen for a couple hours, just like meal prepping some stuff. And so I finished that. And then I unpacked my suitcases. I'm getting really good with that. There was a time, baby, I'm telling you, there was a time in the not so distant past where it could take me weeks to unpack a suitcase. It took me 24 hours this time. 24 hours. That's one of the good things about being in a smaller space, is that like things just take up more space. So I'm better about putting them where they belong, so they're not taking up unnecessary space. But I just unpacked, and I was trying to decide if I was going to be able to record today. But honestly, y'all, I am beat. Like, I am really tired. And I think like I'm mentally drained. I feel like foggy mentally. And so I don't think that I can sit down and record a good episode right now. I know what it would be like when I try to record when I'm feeling like, I don't know, anywhere near how I'm feeling now. It just, oh gosh, it's like painful trying to get through it. And like, it's so difficult to organize my thoughts. Like, and mind you, when I sit down to record, the Holy Spirit is doing that work more than I am. But I just am feeling, I'm just still trying to recover on some rest. Now, interestingly enough, I do think that I could get this hair done before I go to bed tonight. I know it sounds kind of crazy because I don't have the energy to record a podcast, but I have the energy to do some hair. But doing my hair, especially doing these little two-strand twists, don't take no thought. Don't take no mental energy or anything. Put something on the TV and just get to going, you know? And so I may try to do that, but then part of me feels kind of guilty because it's like, girl, if you have energy to do that, then record the podcast. But I just feel like that's where I am with it today. I'm gonna do one of those things this evening. Not at this point. I've taken off my makeup. I've washed my face. We're just gonna do our hair tonight. But do y'all see? Like, I don't know. Is it just me? Like, this is the thought process. This is the thought process all the time, every day, trying to figure out like, what should I be doing? What should I be putting off for later? And even kind of asking God, like, is it okay? Is it all right? There's like two things happening. I'm burnt out and I'm tired and I'm exhausted and I have to keep moving. And also, I'm off my routines. I need to get back on the horse and like reestablish some structure in my life. And so those two things are warring right now for like what's most important. How do I do both? How do I prioritize both? And so like, but I really have to get rid of this all or nothing thinking. It doesn't work. It doesn't work right now with my capacity. I just only have so much. So like I made my healthy food. I unpacked my clothes. Like I'm trying to get to bed at a reasonable time. And I do think that I need to just do this hair so that it can be out of the way for the week. But yeah, those two are fighting for space right now. They're fighting for the number one spot. And I think this is going to be a real chatty vlog. They all are, but I think I just am needing to process my way through this. So we're going to twist this hair. It's just been in these plaits all day. My hair is getting so long. It's a little shrunk right now, but look at it. So, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna go to bed. And I will see you when I see you. Friends, it is a full week later. It is actually, I think, 8 days later since we last spoke. Today's Monday. It is Memorial Day. And I don't know what I thought. I don't know who I thought I was vlogging when I was at that level of exhaustion. And God was asking me the same thing. Girl, who do you think you are? Because I got sick halfway through the week and I just was down for the count. I was down for the count. I was already planning on taking an extra long weekend, but I ended up needing it because I was sick anyway. So I would have called out from work either way. So for the last, 3-ish days, I have just been completely out of it, on the couch, in the bed, just going from laying on one side to the other. I have been just flu-like, coughing, like chest sinus, just down. And I already was down before, but all the way down. I wasn't picking up anything, let alone a camera. And so today I'm still getting over it. I'm on the upswing from being sick, but I still am really like congested and really phlegmy. But I don't feel as tired. I have a lot of my energy back and it's time to start moving. It's time to get moving again. So I was not able to be as productive as I was maybe hoping to be over the weekend, but this is why I feel like God sat me down, because my whole thing was that I was being burnt out and I was going to take the weekend to rest. And I already was planning to do stuff over the weekend. So that did not happen. Today I got up and I washed my hair. We're deep conditioning now. I am in the kitchen cleaning up. I need to get some groceries and then I'm going to go to my brother's house because they're on the grill today. And before that, I'm probably going to take Nova to the dog park. We've been spending a lot of time at the dog park lately because I have not had the energy to go on any long walks with her. I'm telling y'all, I've been down. But it's good because I need her to socialize some more anyway. I was going to take her to my brother's house, but there's going to be a bunch of kids running around and she hasn't been around a lot of kids and I don't want to deal with that. So we're going to go to the dog park so she can get her socializing on, and then I'm going to go over there a little bit later. But honestly, I don't know who I was feeling like. I don't know who I thought I was, why I thought that I was going to be able to vlog in the midst of just trying to survive. I'm telling y'all, just trying to survive. So we're back at it. We are trying to lock back in, again, but now it's a bit more realistic because I was able to rest. I got some good rest the last several days. I recognize that just because I've been able to take the last few days and do nothing, that I still am juggling and carrying a lot. So I'm still like coming out of the burnout, but I'm not completely out of the woods. But thank God I'm not where I was, y'all. When I tell you, I just didn't have anything for anyone. I didn't have anything for myself or anybody else. So I am grateful to be feeling a little bit better. I hate this part of being sick because I just have so much like phlegm and mucus in my throat, and like it just, ugh, ugh, ugh. But thankfully, when I get sick like that, I got about a good like solid 3 days. Oh, and I started bleeding. So I'm also on my cycle. God told me to sit it down. He said, sit down. I said, hey, you got it. You got it, big guy. You got it. I'm sat, okay? Very much sat. I did have those mini twists in my hair, though, all week. I just took them out this morning, but I'm so glad that I put those in last Sunday because I didn't have no energy to be thinking about or doing anything with my hair, and I was just on this couch anyway, so that was actually perfect. That was great. So I'm going to get back to cleaning up a bit, trying to get the house together, trying to prepare for the week. Yeah, that's all we've got going on right now. So let's get to it. I'm trying to decide if I want to rinse this deep conditioner out first or go get groceries now. Maybe I'll go get groceries now. I'm not in a rush to rinse out this deep conditioner. I might let it sit for another hour. I was out of my deep conditioner for a while, so it hasn't gotten like a good deep condition in several weeks. So it's necessary now. Oh, God. Girl, just begging. Okay. We might need to go outside first because this one will not stop. Nova. What's up, girl? Oh. Get down. Right. Okay. We'll go for a little walk outside. All right. Change of plans.
I woke up slow, sun on the floor. You put peace in my chest like never before. My hand's still shaking from what I let go, but you met me right there in the afterglow. You met me right there, you met me right there, you met me right there, you met me right there. And I've been tired, but you stay kind. You held my name when I lost my mind. Now I can breathe, I can lean in close. When the world gets loud, you calm my soul. With him I'm alright, with him I'm alright. I was breaking in pieces, now I'm holding tight. With him I'm alright, with him I'm alright. He turned my whole night into morning light. I used to chase what slipped through my hands. Now I let your grace set the pace again. Got a little hope in my bones today. Even on my bad days, you make a way. Make a way, make a way. And I've been tired, but you stay kind. You held my name when I lost my mind. Now I can breathe.
Hi, baby. Girl. Hey, Novi. Ay, mamacita. 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 Ay, no. Yeah. picked up this camera in a couple of weeks, and it's because I couldn't decide if I wanted to just scrap the vlog and restart or pick up from where I left off. And I've learned some things in these last few weeks, and so I figured let's just chit chat about it while I get ready for church, and then we'll see where the rest of this vlog takes us, if anywhere, because I'm still likely to delete all of this and just start over. So initially, when I started this vlog, I had intentions of it being a locking back in, burnout recovery, and I guess it still is that, but I was not very realistic with myself about what locking back in and recovering from burnout would look like. I think I fall victim and have fallen victim to the social media's ideas of wellness and how wellness is portrayed there. And I think I probably had expectations of myself to take a couple of days, maybe a week, relax, and then be able to just turn everything back on, get back to all of my routines, be back to my full level of energy, and just have all of my capacity rejuvenated. And that didn't happen. And something that I have been learning, I don't know if it's for the first time or if I'm relearning it, but the process of recovering from burnout is one that takes time, and it happens over time. And I guess that makes sense because we don't just burn out after one day. That in itself is a process of getting to the point of being burnt out. So of course it makes sense that it would take some time to recover from it. And so over the last couple of weeks, it's been a mixed bag of things. I do think that I have been having more energy mentally. I have still been feeling quite emotional about things, but that just is what it is. And I've been marginally successful with returning to some of my routines and things that I like to try to do on a regular basis to stay healthy. But in that, I still have been maybe struggling with whatever my expectations were, and I don't know, this same cycle that I think so many of us fall into of just wanting to be able to snap our fingers and live the life that we want to live, snap our fingers and be able to show up in the ways that we want to show up every single day. And I just am reminded once again how unrealistic that is and how important it is to have expectations that are realistic and that mirror your capacity levels. But when we talk about burnout and we talk about self-care, I do think that we need to get clear that none of it happens overnight. Burnout doesn't happen overnight, and burnout recovery doesn't happen overnight. All of it happens over time. All of it is a process. And because it affects so many different parts of your life, it's a process for it to kind of get back on track. And I think if we're wise, then we're paying attention and we're learning something every time we kind of repeat this cycle. When I was looking through the footage that I have already recorded, I was like, oh, Camille, this is boring because it's the same thing every time. It's just, all right, I'm trying to get back on track. And maybe that's the season that I'm in right now. Maybe that is a part of the cycle of the season that I'm in right now. Maybe there's something that I have not yet learned or hasn't yet been revealed about myself that would help me to kind of stay on track, or I don't know what it is. But again, falling victim to the comparison of like, well, I'm not even doing anything besides just trying to clean my house every 2 days. I'm not even doing anything besides trying to eat healthy and start working out again every 3 days. But that's the reality, I think, for a lot of us. And I think there's a blessing in monotony and repetition. It's not realistic to have something new to do every single day and for every single week, for there to be a brand new addition to your life. Like that's not very realistic. And I think that some of us feel discouraged from sharing our lives because they're so normal. But I think that's also why so many of us turn to content like this, because we want to see normal. We want to see people thriving in their normalcy, and maybe we need to normalize like some of our own stuff, and we help each other to do that. But generally speaking, I would say that I have been feeling better for sure, like nowhere near where I was at the beginning of this vlog. Oh my goodness, I ain't been that tired in a long time, y'all, in a very long time. So I am feeling much, much better than that. Thank God, truly. And that, I think, is giving me enough capacity to really try to get back to being more disciplined, or to try to, be more disciplined in some areas. And it helps that the weather has been pretty nice. It's getting to that part of the year here in Oregon where it's just gorgeous, very, very green. All the flowers are in bloom. But it's been nice outside. We've been having a lot more really nice days. I've been spending time outside, which is really good for me. I've been getting Nova outside more, which is really good for her. And y'all, this outside warm weather makes me want to be outside. It's making me feel real social. Making me feel real social. I think I'm intentionally deciding to do more social things, just to do things that I enjoy, whether that's by myself or with others. Because, my perpetual challenge since I've moved has been in finding community and really finding like my people. But there are some things that I don't mind doing by myself, There are some things that I would for sure prefer to do with other people, but there are some things that I'm happy to do by myself. Because it's okay to create memories by yourself. Memory is a memory. I'm a little bit bummed about the weather today because I wanted to go to this rose care class. I found this rose garden right down the street from the church, and it is so cute. Oh, it's so adorable. I'll try to insert some footage of it, but it's so cute. And when I went last weekend, I think I went, and they said that today at like 1 o'clock, they're hosting a free rose care class. I was like, oh my gosh, how cute. I'm not really a flower girl. Like, I don't really like flowers like that, but that's really nice. I think that flowers are beautiful, and I really like plants and outdoorsy things, and that is right up my alley. So I really wanted to go, but it's kind of cold outside right now, and that's an outdoor event. I don't know if it's outdoor event weather, so not sure if I will be doing that. But I do think that I want to sit down and do some intentional planning for the week. It's the beginning of the week, so of course groceries are low. Like, we have some regular stuff that needs to be done. I think that's probably tomorrow. I'm going to be doing laundry like throughout the day because there's so much laundry that needs to be done. Oh my goodness. And then of course we need to record a podcast. I originally this year was like, we are going to be recording and posting all year. We're not missing a week. But now I think that I'm considering possibly taking a break during the summer. So I need to think about that. And I think like that might be okay if I just took a little summer hiatus. But irregardless, today we need to record. Anyway, let me quit yapping and finish getting myself together so we can be on time today. And I will check in with y'all later. Hi, I have a mobile order for Camille.
Yeah, looks like we're in the midst of making that. Hopefully we'll have that ready for you by the time you get here.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I did my hair about a week ago. I love it. I really was trying to recreate a synthetic version, of the human hair that y'all be using for those miracle knots. I cannot bring myself at this point in my life to be purchasing human hair all willy-nilly. And I don't think it's necessary to get the look. Anyway, I really love, and I do the, what do y'all call it? Tree braids, pick and drop, whatever it is. The one where you leave hair out as you're braiding. I just feel like with the miracle knots, when you go through and plait your whole head and then go and crochet the hair in, I just feel like you're doing your hair twice. I just feel like you're doing your hair twice, and that's not my cup of tea. Yes. No, I'm okay. Thank you. You too. They were ready. Praise God. This has been my go-to order lately. It's just a cinnamon dolce latte with oat milk and light ice. I like to keep it easy, keep it simple. When I was really heavy in my coffee drinking days, I would get an Americano and doctor it up, put my little syrups and things in it. But ever since I got diagnosed with acid reflux, I've significantly cut back on my caffeine. There's less espresso in here, but it's just enough for me. It's just enough so that it doesn't trigger my reflux, but I still get that little caffeine effect. So this has been my little go-to. And then I got a spinach and feta wrap. I've come around to that little wrap. I wasn't sure at first, but I've come around to it. It's not bad.
idea of the posture or the position that we should be in terms of worship, which is quite clearly about creating a hierarchy of respect and reverence between the one who is doing the worship and the one who is being worshipped. Okay? So we see that word used back in Genesis chapter 19, verse 1, when Lot was approached by the angels. And it says back there, now the two angels came to Sodom in the evening as Lot was sitting at the gate of Sodom. And when Lot saw them, he rose to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground. So that word bow there is translated again to that shakat word. You can see all the ways that they were called to humble themselves and approach God, right? To worship God in the right way.
So I just left church, and church was so good today. Church was so good today. My brother actually brought the message, and it was about worship and just the fact that worship is a posture and it's constant, and it's not just what we do on Sunday, and that the sacrificing of our own will is our reasonable worship, our reasonable service to God. And it was really, really good. So I'm feeling very encouraged right now. And I'm excited because the weather is holding up. It's not as cold as it was earlier. It's still a little bit overcast, but I'm going to go to the Rose Garden for my rose care class. I'm so excited about it. I just want to start doing more things that really are my vibe. Like just cutesy little stuff. And that is my vibe. I love a little dinner, a little brunch, but that ain't what we always want to do. So I'm excited to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to pick up something to eat because I'm hungry. I'm hungry, and this class is an hour and a half long. So I'm just going to swing by, try to swing by Wendy's, see what they're talking about, get something real quick, and then go and do my little rose care class. I wonder if they're going to give us some roses to take. Maybe I'll try to keep them alive if they give us some. But that's why I don't really keep just roses, but I don't keep flowers in the house because they die so quickly. Maybe it's just that I don't know how to take care of them. So maybe if I learn how to take care of them better, then I can keep some flowers in my house. Part of why I really appreciated the reorienting of what it means to worship and to have a posture of worship is because in these last few weeks, while I've been trying to recover from my burnout, I just have been repeating to myself, worship through it, worship through it. And I think that's what God has put on my spirit. And usually when we hear worship, we think about like worship music and prayer, and that's part of it, but that's not all of it. And that's an especially good reminder for me because sometimes listening to worship music and singing songs and prayer, sometimes that feels like a heavier lift, and that has been feeling like a heavier lift to me because of where I've been mentally and emotionally. But it's just the reminder that worship and the posture of worship is the constant humbling of yourself in reverence to God because of who he is, because his sovereignty does not change, his worthiness does not change based on how I feel and based on my mood. And to sacrifice and to serve, like that's worship. So doing the things that feel like a sacrifice in the moment, that even is an act of worship. So yes, worship songs are edifying, and we ought to be praying without ceasing. And that I've been struggling with that, with those expressions of worship lately. And since I've been struggling with those expressions of worship, I've been feeling really guilty, feeling like I have not been worshiping God. And so the reminder that worship is not exclusive to those things, that we don't need to limit God to put him in a box. Like it doesn't just start and end with those expressions of worship that we are most familiar with, but that any time we are crucifying our flesh, that is an act of worship. Even that is an act of worship. So the times where I'm like, I don't feel like it, but let me go for a walk because I know it's going to be good for me, because I know that it helps my mental to be among God's creation and to have fresh air and to move my body. I know that that's good for me, so let me do it even though I don't feel like it. So even in those moments, I'm crucifying my flesh to fulfill the will of God, to take care of my body, which is his temple. And that in itself is an act of worship. So I can still worship through the burnout, even when I'm having a hard time with the expressions of worship that we're most familiar with. I still am striving to incorporate those more because those are always edifying to me. But sometimes when we're in a bad space mentally and emotionally, those feel further away. Those feel like a heavier lift. And that's a fair acknowledgement. It's a heavier lift for us sometimes, but it's never a heavy lift for God. So yeah, worship is a constant, permanent state of being because God is always constantly and permanently worthy. Ooh, he's good. He's good, and I'm feeling good. And I'm excited to see what this little Rose class is talking about. It is several hours later. I've been doing some running around today. Went to the dog park with Nova, got some groceries, did some other stuff around the house. I didn't get around to recording the podcast, and I'm okay with that because I actually decided that it would be better for me to wind down and just spend some time with the Lord. So I made some tea and I'm going to do some Bible study. In this whole burnout recovery, something that I'm always having to come back to is what is my foundation? What is my center and what keeps me centered? There will always be so many other things that seem important. There will always be so many other things to do, so many things that need to be done. But when I am not abiding, when I am not tapped in with the Lord, when my spirit is not full and fed and nourished and settled, then I'm not okay. That's it. And so I am deciding to prioritize that tonight as I'm going into this new week. Tomorrow is Monday, and I just need to feed my spirit before I get so caught up in everything else that's happening this week. And there's still time to do all the other things, all the other important things, but I think that my spirit and my heart is just yearning for some time with the Father. And so that's how I'm going to end my night. And I do think that that's how I'm going to end this vlog. It did not go how I thought it was going to go, but we are all about being honest and transparent over here. Honestly and transparently, I am still climbing my way out of this burnout hole, but I'm feeling so much more hopeful. I feel like I am, for the most part, on the other side of it. And this is just a reminder that nothing happens overnight. Burnout doesn't happen overnight. Recovery doesn't happen overnight. And through it all, we serve a big, big God. We serve a good, good God, a God who never gets burnt out, a God who never gets tired. And so I am going to find rest in Him. I'm going to take refuge in Him because that's what His word says. And that is where my strength comes from. Because I know that I'm still climbing myself out of this burnout, I know that I'm going to need His strength to get to this week. And so I am guarding myself with that. That's the best thing that I can do for myself right now. And that is the best thing that you can do for yourself right now, too. So thank y'all so much for hanging in there with me. I don't know, this vlog is all over the place, but prayerfully it was encouraging in some way. So I love y'all so much.